So today I'm here to present you with a family law case that is an example of some of the things that I've run across in my 29 years of practice with County Law Center. An individual by the name of Kimberly comes to me with a 17-year marriage, 2 children, ages 11 and 13, and they have a family budget or expenses to house payment, household items, necessities for the kids. It totals about $11,000 a month. Kimberly makes about $3,000 a month, and she has a good job, and she only makes about $3,000. Her husband pays the rest of the expenses. Well, Kimberly comes to me because they're getting divorced. Things haven't worked out for them. It's unfortunate. And the other issue that comes up in this case is dad, or father in this case, has a pretty severe alcohol problem and is not in a good relationship with the children either. So dad decides to move out. Kimberly comes to me and says, look, what do I do? He had the majority of the money, can't pay the bills. I have my kids. How do I approach this? So at County Law Center, we help her. What we do is we go to court. We set hearings with the judge called an RFO, request for order, after we file the divorce papers as well. It's kind of all filed together. And we proceed in court. What we had to do in this type of case, which makes it unique than some of the others, is we had to do some extensive discovery. What I mean by that is dad was lying about his income. We all knew it because he was paying they had $11,000 in expenses. And suddenly dad says, oh, for the last 9 months, I've only made $3,000 a month. Well, gee, how were you paying $11,000 in expenses? You only made $3,000 a month. So we subpoena his bank records. We find out some of his customers. We subpoena records from the customers, pay records that they've paid him for. And at the last minute, before we go to court, about 2 weeks before court, we hire a private investigator who follows dad and finds out the job sites he's working on. So when we get into court, we have all this information prepared to show the judge and represent Kimberly in an informed fashion. We end up convincing the judge of exactly what he should have been convinced of, which is that dad was making probably $11,000 a month, even more than we thought. And so therefore, the court made an order for Kimberly. She got $3,400 a month in child support and $3,500 a month in spousal support. And so she was able to care for her family. And in conjunction with that, we were also able to get an order that dad couldn't see the kids unless it was a supervised visitation until he got counseling or did some other things that would show that he had the ability to care for the kids by himself. One last thing I want to mention in this case, which was another issue that I run across often, is the family residence. So dad, they had about $140,000 in equity. Dad wants his money. He wants his $70,000 because he's going to move on and he's not part of this family anymore. But mom doesn't want to destabilize the children and have to move. So we convinced the judge to give mom 2 years to either refinance, to buy dad out, or potentially sell it after 2 years. And so in the meantime, the family gets to stay where they are, stay near their friends, the kids get to, and mom gets some stabilization in her life. And by getting the support order that we got for her, she was able to move forward. And now I've talked to Kimberly recently. We're about 18 months post this case. It was 18 months ago. And things are going well for Kimberly, and she's looking like she's going to be able to refinance and potentially keep her house as well.